son today. He evidently thinks that Austin is a fun place to be, and is driving to visit grandkids. And so I told him, everybody can see my shining face today. I know we've got quite a few attendees here, so I should promote somebody to a panelist just so I have somebody to talk to. Um, but instead, I'm going to be selfish and I'm going to take this on by myself. So I know I promised that I was going to be looking at the primarily at the NIST report today, and we will get to that. But I wanted to start first by a couple conversations I've had the last 2 days about how to address client needs. And something right now that's really important is that there's something going on around the world that we are all kind of facing, and that's that coronavirus. And everybody's tired of hearing of it. Everybody's tired of like seeing this in their face. However, it is a problem, and it is a problem that's facing businesses right now in particular, is to how do I deal with this? Now, as VCIOs, we should be at the forefront of this conversation. We should be reaching out to our clients and saying, hey, we can help you here. I know that places are stopping communities. We're trying to get around how to, like we've seen the NBA cancel here in the United States. We've seen public events get canceled, and we know that some businesses are ceasing on-site activities. Now, among your clients, how many of them are ready for a work-from-home workforce? Some of them are right on the edge, and maybe they just need a couple tips to push them over and say, hey, it's okay. You have Office 365, you have Teams, you have webcams on all your laptops, and we know that you're ready to go. So here is a quick email template that shows your employees how to work from home and how they can do this. That is something easy you can do. Now, the conversation could be that you're going to send out an email regarding working from home and all this other stuff. Like, no, put it in the business context. Do your employees a favor. Let them work from home during this time. Reduce impact to your business by allowing work from home. Here are the reasons why you have things in place. So you are helping solve a problem for your clients, and you are helping them get there. You're taking them from here to here. It's a very small jump. Some of your clients don't have the ability to work from home. Maybe it's because they have physical restraints, like they have to work on site. You know, they have to see patients. They have to have the dogs come in and be kenneled. Now, for those people, like, how can you help them? Like, what are the opportunities here where you can show that technology can solve this problem for them? Now, you can do this very easily, and you can create reports or readiness reports or coronavirus readiness items for your clients so that they're willing to buy into new materials. This isn't fear-mongering. You're actually solving a problem for them. They want to know how to continue doing business in spite of the global pandemic. We are technology professionals. We have the solutions for this. You can use it for PR. You can say, hey, we just want to help our clients. Here's how you do it. Here is our pandemic checklist. So for all clients that are Office 365, here is where the resources are so that you can work from home. No extra charges. However, in 3 months, you need to have a case study ready to go where you say, hey, look, of our clients that were on Office 365, when the pandemic hit, they did not interrupt business continuity at all. Let us get you to that next step. So you're solving a problem. Businesses tend not to buy into DR planning until they're facing a blizzard, until they're facing a massive power outage. So these are the times in which we have those business conversations. This is a great opportunity for you to kick off QBRs with your clients virtually. Use this as your excuse to meet with your clients virtually over Zoom or whatever your WebEx tool that you're using in your office is. Encourage this kind of conversation like I'm having with you right now, where we are talking and we're having a very good repertoire, and I'm using my whiteboard and we're discussing what's coming up, but I'm not taking extra time out of your day. So there's two opportunities in front of you right now that are time sensitive. In the United States, we have about 10 days, I think, is what's left until we hit the Italy status. And whereas everything's just going to be shut down for a while. We want our businesses and our clients to be prepared for that. and we want them to know that we have their backs, that we're going to help them through this trying time, that we're not going to try to just be like, oh, well, we'll fix things when we fix them, but rather we're saying, hey, here is how we take your business to the next level. Here's how we help your company. And if you do that, now you've got a loyal client. Now they feel like you have their back. You helped them through that trying time. You made sure they maintained business continuity during these trying times. And it's a simple email. It's a simple conversation like this. The second thing is having those QBRs over webcam. Start doing that so that you can show that, hey, look, we're sensitive to your needs, and we want to make sure that we're doing our part to keep everybody healthy, and we're going to be doing webcams. Now you've also set a precedent that you care about them, and that these meetings via webcam are actually kind of nice. They're very convenient. They might start doing this in the future. You saved yourself like 10, 20 hours a month by doing webcam conferences, video conferences, rather than in-person ones. So those are that's my really quick tips I wanted to do today. And I know because in Nebraska here, it's just everything's shutting down. The state basketball tournament, kids can't go, or kids are going to it. However, you have to be a family member just to attend the state basketball tournaments. We have college tournaments shutting down. We have any kind of like public gathering. Skip was complaining that the rodeo was shut down in Texas. So, and that's a huge event. And so what we got to look at is how, as technology professionals, are we helping our economies to stabilize in spite of the glooming threat? And that's what we do. That is our purpose in life. We are good at BCP. We are good at DR planning. If I need to work remotely, like I can do that. I know how to do it, but our clients don't often. So making a quick email to send out to all your clients, hey, how to work from home. That's going to be a huge stress relief from them. If you aren't already engaging with them on how to get them set up to do this, do it now. Look at your technology stack, look at your portfolio, and see how you can help your clients. By doing this, you're going to create a whole new level of relationship with them. So use this opportunity to help your clients solve a problem that they're very concerned about. And with that, I'm going to move over to the NIST compliance report that I know a bunch of people are itching to look at. And this is a report that kind of came out of the community that is, it was created by Skip. Skip had somebody ask him the other day, like, hey, how do I do a security audit? And what he did was, he says, oh, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I said, well, use a standard then. So let me make this a little bit sharper for you. Man, I've been doing too much marketing lately. So what we have here is a NIST compliance report. And in Apple Accounting, I have my strategic QBR that I run with all my clients. And what we have is, you'll see that in my audit results, down here, I have the NIST cybersecurity assessment. It's in beta right now because there's a piece missing that I'm just trying to solve. And if anybody can think of really clever ways to solve this, I would love your feedback. I'll buy you a bottle of whiskey if you figure it out. Or whatever your poison is. Anyways, the NIST cybersecurity assessment beta is this new kind of tool we have. Now, anybody who's been through a NIST assessment or has done one, they're fairly involved. So you'll want to partner with a cybersecurity department, or you'll want to have a good understanding of how this works. Because NIST has a series of controls that you go through, and then you measure your client based on identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. How well are they adhering to each of the controls as defined by the NIST standard? So what we did was we created a report here that goes through, and you can mark down where they are and where they can be within the next 12 months. So you'll notice that there's not a lot of information here. And that's because within the NIST standard, each control is measured individually, and it's an aggregate of a series of options. So they're going to want to weight it, and you're going to come up with a final result. To that end, we do have an Excel workbook that will help you work through this. And that's why it's still in beta, is because this workbook is, I don't know, I feel like it's a nice Excel spreadsheet, but I feel like there's a better way to do it. And so when you mark down, like, do they have backups? Are they using tape backups? At what level are their backups? And then you get that average response, then you mark it down. If you have a cybersecurity team, they'll do this already. They already know how to do this. They've got their checklist and they'll run through it. But this gives you a report that you can follow. And so when we're doing the NIST report, we were trying to embed the spreadsheet into here, but as you can see, it doesn't quite come through right. And what it should be is a little technical workbook that you can go through and just check the boxes and get your results to put up here. I feel like there's a better way. I feel like we can either use scorecards or we can use something else to go through the controls for this. But right now this does work. So those of you who are in the beta assessment, you are able to go in and check this out. You are able to go in and actually manipulate it and log into SharePoint and get that Excel document. You can do this right now. It's just a little clunky. I want everything to be contained within the report, so you can just come out with this after about an hour of assessment. For some clients, it's going to be a full day assessment because it's going to take time. So you can sell this individually once it's done. Or if you have a NIST workbook that you go through, this is a great way to translate it into the MSPL tool. And if you guys do have any questions, just feel free to type them into the chat. I can't really, I'm trying to bounce back and forth because I don't have Skip watching the chat queue today. But this is a great way to translate NIST in. This does cover all 5 areas that if you go to the NIST website and you walk through one of their audits, it covers everything. It just doesn't have the details behind each one of these controls so that you can come up with where are they on these. So we really, 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 really like this. It works really well. And what I want you guys to see is that things like this are coming out routinely. The other one that just came out that I want to show you guys real quick is, and you might have saw it at the bottom there, is a services assessment. This all fits within what we've been talking about with the HIT framework. Strategy, we got that. That's our QBRs. Architecture, we got that. That's the TSA and the Office 365 audits. Service, wait a minute, we don't have anything there. Risk, that's the NIST assessment. I'm hoping to have that completed by about the 25th. But the service one, that one's pretty much done. I'm having my marketing team go over right now just to make sure it looks pretty. But if we go over to the service assessment, the idea here was that we wanted an audit that would help the client understand the differences between like 24/7 support and 8x5 support. And so we created this report, again, for you beta users. This pops right into your portal. For the rest of you, this is going to come in about April 1st, April 2nd. Where does your client need support? And so you're going to come down and you're going to assess them, and then how are you going to support them? Now, for a lot of you, this is all inclusive. This is comprehensive. You don't have to come up with another package over here. You don't have to make service bundles behind it. It's just they get what they get. But it is a great way to show them that currently they have 8 to 5 availability. But we would like them to get to 24-hour because they're adding that third shift onto their call center. And we know that we have to talk to them about the additional cost of after-hour support. Or maybe if you're an all-inclusive plan, you need to talk to them about how to access the after-hour support and what's covered there. So there might be some education you need to do there. With their on-site support, this is always a real touchy one with MSPs. And so we want this conversation to happen. Do you have 24-hour on-site support? And what is the turnaround time for that? Do I call and get somebody within the next 20 minutes, or is it best available? So you might want to talk to them about where they are and what it means to get to 24-hour availability. or what it means to get to 8 to 5 ability. This is opening up these conversations. And the nice thing is that a lot of our clients don't need 24-hour access, and we can track who is going to have that 24-hour access, and we can help our techs really have a better night's sleep. I've been on the other side of that. I've been in the situation where I had to be on call for a week straight, and I got called every night, every 2 hours, and it just wears on you. And you can restrain that by having a conversation with your clients about this 24-hour access and what it means. Or you can make a firm commitment as an MSP and say, we only do 8 to 5. And anything additional requires extended lead time. So these are things that just allow you to have a better conversation with your client and put it into context so that when you come over to your strategic QBR, you're not talking about all the things that are available. Instead, you're saying, hey, your service level, you're only using, let's go down here. We're only using the 62% of the services available to you. And that's a good thing. Like you guys are efficient, or we would like to see you guys start doing X, Y, and Z. We'd like to start seeing you take advantage of our help desk. We'd like to start seeing you take advantage of these things, and it's going to help your business productivity because, and then go through your explanation. So rather than going through the entire list of things available, you now just go through your project roadmap and talk to your clients about what they're not using or ways that you want to switch the context so that things are more efficient for them. And that's the whole big picture that we've been trying to get people to go with the HIT framework that's coming out, is getting this abstraction layer so you spend more time talking to the CEO or to the stakeholders about context and about how you're supporting the business rather than all the details and being in the weeds. As MSPs, we're really good at being in the weeds. We're really good at talking about firewalls and how fast they are and the differences between this and that. Why? Because FortiGate sends us all that marketing collateral. Why wouldn't we use it? We want to have this abstraction layer. We want these hours of work behind here that result in a project roadmap so I can sit down with my CEO of my client and say, let me show you how I'm going to solve that problem you had last week. Remember how you were concerned about the coronavirus and whether or not you could have people working from home? One of the things that's hindering you right now is the fact that your office adoption is really low. If we could get Teams in place, which was recommended down here, we could get you up to a spot where you're going to be able to work from home. And if you'd like to deep dive into that, I can bring my Office 365 people in place, and we can start get that licensing going, and we can make sure that the educational materials have been given to your employees, so that when you are in shutdown mode, that everybody can work from home and continue to generate revenue for your company. These are the conversations we want to have. We don't want to sit down and talk to people about the details of SharePoint and OneDrive and spend hours and hours and hours trying to convince people that this is going to change their life. What we want to do is say, hey, there is a solution for that problem you're having, and it's called Teams. There is a solution to that problem you're having, and it's called unicorns. Whatever it is that is keeping them from achieving their business goal, there is a technology solution that's going to help them. And you're just going to call out, like, the reason you're low here, and this is what's happening because of that. You're at 61 here. This isn't too bad. We're pretty proud of the fact that you're here. We're going to get you to 96, whether you like it or not, by the end of the year. It's just taking time and scheduling out the hardware deployments. We're IT services assessment. Here's where we want to help you by giving you more support for your staff using that help desk. So you can see how the conversation changes when you do the assessments on the back end. All the weeds have been dealt with on the back end. Now it's just a conversation. And something was pointed out to me earlier this week is the fact that this is getting the CEO back into the conversation. We've had people report that when they start doing this, when they start having the high-level conversations like this, and they get out of the weeds, the C-levels and the decision makers start coming back into the room because things are happening in these meetings. They're talking about the business functionality here. And that person that you're talking to now that doesn't really have any decision-making authority, they're asking the decision makers to come back into the room because, like, hey, what was the big plan for quarter 3? I can't remember. And they got to explain it. Or they'll say, hey, what was our mission for 2021? These guys have some great ideas on how to get us there. So now you're attracting decision makers and high end decision makers. Those guys and those girls will say, just get it done. Yes, yes, fix this, whatever it takes, fix it. And you then it's just a matter of just doing your work. You don't need to explain to them all the details. You just need to explain to them how you're helping them. So surprisingly, I must be doing a good job of talking, or I'm talking too fast and blowing all your minds because there's not a single question out there. And that's about all I had for today. It was going to be really quick. And it's interesting how fast things go when I don't have Skip to bounce ideas off of. At any given time, I have about 20 minutes of material. The rest of it's usually taken up by people emailing in, asking questions, or Skip and I adding our own flair onto things. So I appreciate everybody for coming this week. And I just want to leave you with the main takeaways is one, start talking to your clients about how you can help them through this coronavirus thing, this pandemic. Whether or not you think it's a hoax or whatever, businesses are feeling very threatened right now because they feel like they're going to have to shut down, that they're going to have a lower influx of people. Help them through this. Help them see that there is a way to continue business and you can help them with that. Show them what you can do. The second thing is, look, for you guys in the beta access, look at the NIST report and see if you can find a more clever way for us to get the results from the NIST website, from the NIST control set into a report. I've got a couple clever ideas and I'm probably going to go over them and have it ready for next week, but we'll see what happens. And third, just keep providing business solutions. Stop selling technology, start selling business solutions, and you're going to generate so much revenue you don't know what to do with it. I just talked in a webinar yesterday about how we generated, when I first started my company, I generated $40,000 a month. That was a good run. It was great. And then I started doing coaching and stuff. My revenue went down, but I'm making more of an impact. I'm helping more people get there. And so I really want to change this way of doing business. And I want you all to do the same thing in your companies. If you do this, you'll generate the same kind of revenue I did when I first started. It wasn't a fluke. It was just something where people just started talking about like, hey, this guy will help you. And I started getting more and more contracts until I was completely saturated and I had to hire several more people to do this business with me. And I had $400,000 contracts just sitting there from nonprofits who were just trying to audit services. And it was just crazy. Only because I started a new context. I started having conversations and solving problems for people rather than telling them about how I was going to make their day better. Through a better firewall or a better switch or an upgraded PC. I talked to them about how I was going to help them solve their problem, how they're going to get more clients, how they're going to be able to serve more students, how they're going to have a better, cleaner day if they did these things. And with that, I was able to land so many clients and had so much going on that I didn't have time for anything else. So with that, I hope that you guys will all reach out to us at coaching@virtualc.biz. I hope that Skip has safe travels, and we'll see him online next week. All right, I'm signing off.